When you first turn on your machine, you're ready to sew. It's got the standard stitch length and your needle position is in the center. Now you can move that needle position using this button here, and you can change your stitch length using this button here. And if you want to get back into default for straight stitch, just press this button right here. Puts you right back into default. Now when you first turn on your machine, you're in menu 1. To change menus, you would just push this button and it cycles through the different stitch menus. I can get into more about that on my stitch control panel video, but just know that you want to be in M1, so keep pushing this button until you are in M1. That means you are now with direct select stitches here, meaning the picture that's next to the number is the stitch that you're going to get. So for instance, if you wanted to do a square end buttonhole, just push 0 right there. If you want to get straight stitches, right there, zigzag right here, and so forth. You can use the start-stop button, but if you decide to do that, make sure that you lower your speed on your speed slider. Also, unplug your foot control. And when you do it, press and hold it for just about a second. To stop, press it again. So when you first start sewing, make sure that your machine is threaded correctly. You can check out my threading video. As long as you've done that, place your fabric under the foot. Make sure that you're sewing on the fabric, not off the edge of the fabric. Make sure that your presser foot is down. I've lined up the right-hand edge with my 5/8 inch seam allowance line there. And hang on to the thread tails just briefly for the first couple of stitches. Now I like to get ready to press the back stitch button, so I'm watching where I'm sewing, going backwards, and then when we get down to the end, press it again. Now we can do the cut button up here that cuts your threads and leaves short thread tails, pulling them to the back. You can either trim these thread tails or just leave them. Also, when you're done sewing, you can lift up your presser foot and use the side cutter, just like that. Another neat thing about the reverse button is that you can press and hold it without even pressing on your foot control, and it will go in reverse, as long as you have it held down. To do a tie off at the beginning and then at the end, you can just press this little button here. It does a little tie off by itself. Then you can press on the foot control, start sewing, and wherever you want to stop, just press it again. It does a tie off. It makes a nice clean finish on the top and on the back. You can see there's a nice neat little knot. Let's do some zigzag. To do a zigzag, you press 5 right here, and you can make it shorter, like for applique, and narrower if you want to, and it shows the values right here. You can see that's a very short stitch length. Now you can make it much longer if you want to, press and hold, and much wider if you want to. It goes all the way up to 7 millimeters wide. Now to get your zigzag back into default, just reselect the stitch right here. Here we go. Now you can also sew in reverse to lock your stitches. And you can also use your cutter button, just like that. And that's your standard zigzag. You can use it for edge finishing, but as you can see on this woven fabric, using the standard foot, it's going to give you a little bit of a curled edge here. So that's why I like using the J foot, because that's going to give you a little bit of slack in your top thread. I'll show you how that works. Make sure to always put your thread under your foot when you start sewing. What you want to do is line up the edge of your fabric with that little bar right there. And when we zigzag, we're going to zigzag past that bar like that. So you can see that that gives us a nice flat edge on our overcast, the J foot. Now the J foot has this little bar in back here, and that is what it stitches across. It's free on the back, but it's attached on the front. So you can do a bit of a back stitch, but not very much because the stitches will stack up against that bar where it's connected there. Another really useful stitch is called the triple stitch. This is the triple stitch button. Just push 3 like that, and you're ready to go. Now the triple stitch is great for seams that are on the bias. As you can see, I sewed just a straight line of stitching here, stretched it really well, and the thread broke. But it's not going to happen with the triple stitch. So I'm sewing on the bias here. It takes 2 stitches forward and 1 back. I'll do it by hand here to show you. 1, 2, forward, and 1 back. So that means that every stitch is going to be stretchy. It stretches as much as the fabric. Now this can be really useful if you have, say, a pair of pants that the back crotch seam has come unstitched because it has stretched on the bias part of the curve. You can repair that with this seam and it'll never come apart again. If you found this video to be helpful, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments, questions, or ideas for other videos you'd like to see, let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.